am Jill Iannetta, Director of Special Projects for Mayor Roach. In collaboration with the White Plains Business Improvement District, we've been hard at work planning the Sustain White Plains event, which will be held Saturday, April 27th from noon to 4 on Mamaroneck Avenue between Main and Martini. We'll have 50 interesting exhibitors, pet adoption, live music, and entertainment. Best of all, the weather promises to be sunny, and I'm sure everybody who comes out can learn something from the event. To help us celebrate today, we have some elementary school children who will read an Earth Day poem.
And we will be reading a poem called What You Can Do. When you see litter in the streets and the air smells of pollution, when you feel like so highly up, remember, there is a solution.
There's something each of us can do to keep the rivers clean, to keep fresh the air we breathe, and keep the forest green.
Help clean a beach or recycle bottles and cans. Learn about the problems we face and help others understand.
It doesn't have to be a lot if we each just do our share. So take time out of our Earth Day to show the earth in care.
That, but I will. I want to thank everybody for coming out, especially our young people. Earth Day is an event that I remember started in my lifetime. I still remember my first Earth Day, and at that time it was kind of it was a cool thing, but it was almost like a hippie thing, you know. And now it's become part of who we are. Certainly, my generation was raised with a respect and love for nature and a desire to preserve it. Many of you all and most people here love the Hudson River, but when I was a kid, I remember it was not viewed as a place where you want to swim or even put your toe in. But years and years of hard work by lots of people have cleaned up that river and cleaned up a lot of our environment. But every day we have more challenges. As we start and we enter into spring, and we're dealing with the winds of spring here this morning and this afternoon, I want to remind everyone about some of the things we're doing here in the city. We are bringing electric vehicle charging stations. We have several at the train station. We're getting more. I drive an electric car, which is my own car. Also, the city has an all-electric car now, and we plan on getting more. Of course, electric vehicles have no emissions and help the environment. Our Tilly shed, our Take It or Leave It shed, is now open at our recycling center in Getney Way. If you're unfamiliar with it, you should go check it out. It's open on Saturdays in the morning, and you can go out there, and if you have something that you like, but you don't need anymore, and it's still good, and you don't want to throw it away, like play equipment or a bicycle, you can bring it out there and leave it, and then someone else who needs a bike or some play equipment takes it. And this way it takes it out of the waste stream and makes it available to your fellow residents. We have a lot of exciting news hopefully this year with regard to parks. We're working on extending our greenway, which currently goes from Getney Way out to the Scarsdale line. We're looking to try and extend it from Getney Way all the way through under Bryan Avenue. We're also working on opening access for the first time to some city parkland that most people do not know that it exists, which is the Bryant Mamaroneck Park at the corner of Bryant and Mamaroneck across from Rose Cleaners. We're working on opening up access to that so that it can be enjoyed as a passive park. Con Ed has donated, I believe, $1,000 towards trees to help replace some of the trees we lost during Hurricane Sandy. I want to also make sure everyone knows that this Saturday is our Sustain White Plains event, which is taking place on Mamaroneck Avenue here in White Plains, and ask you all to come out and enjoy that. We are the only community in the county of Westchester with dedicated bike lanes, and we're hoping to add some more this year, more bike lanes this year to make it even more effective. I want to thank our sponsors, Apogee, Bunga, Inland Realty, New York Power Authority. Is anyone here from any of those sponsors? And Rexon SL Green, and I know Jay Black is here from Rexon SL Green. He is their environmental director. Is that the right title? Jay and I go way back and have worked together for a number of years. And And Rexon SL Green really means it when they say that they are a green company. They stand by it. We also want to thank Souls for Souls. We're trying something new this year. Souls for Souls is a...
Thank you. I just wanted to just give you a couple of numbers or facts about our trees. We have 13,600 street trees and parks trees that DPW takes care of. We did a big study in 2008 in conjunction with Cornell University, and they determined that the annual value of those trees, and these aren't including the trees that we have in our watershed. We have 300 acres of reservoirs, so those aren't individually calibrated and identified. But the 13,600 trees have a $2 million per year value to the city. That's aesthetic value, shade, air quality, things like stormwater, soil retention, and so forth. So when we had these devastating storms, the hurricanes, as we mentioned, and even beyond that, the Halloween snowstorm, we call it, that was just as bad, if not worse, than some of the hurricanes. We had trees that had leaves on them, and I don't know if folks remember, but that kept a lot of trick-or-treaters out of action that one year, too. So that was especially bad for us as far as the trees go, and we've struggled every year to play catch-up, because each one of those storms, we lost around 500 trees each time. So we're down somewhere like 1,500 trees or more from our normal inventory. We always try to plant more trees than get lost due to natural hazards each year. But this was kind of an unnatural hazard that we're having these 100-year storms. So the Con Edison grant of the $1,000 is certainly a welcome thing. We'll put that to good use, getting more trees. And one of the trees we have outside is a Coosa dogwood, which is a native tree, plant. And we're going to plant that at the new entrance to the Jack Harrington Greenway, which we just finished the stone retaining walls. We built those in-house, and we're planning some other work. We have some sidewalk lights and stamped brick and so forth. So that'll be coming up. The mayor had the vision of enhancing that, and Milagros, Councilwoman Milagros Lacuna had done a sketch, and we followed that. We actually had an interesting thing because a candidate for Eagle Scout from the Boy Scouts helped with the planning of that design. We put engineers with it, but he did the final design plans for us. So with that,
to the Beautification Foundation for all they do around the city. Before me, I have a proclamation, and it reads as follows. Whereas White Plains has been recognized as a tree city by the National Arbor Day Foundation for 30 consecutive years and will continue its tree planting ways, I do hereby proclaim Friday, April 26, 2013 as Arbor Day in the city of White Plains.
City-owned trees in both parks and roadsides and various other city properties that Public Works takes care of. And that doesn't even include, there's about 300 acres of what we call watershed property where we have drinking water reservoirs. There are literally another 5,000 trees in there. We don't identify each and every one. But the 13,600 that we had, and the reason I say had is the storms that we've had in the last 3 or 4 years, a hurricane a year almost has had a big impact on the number of our street and parks trees. So we've been replacing those as best we can to try to catch up. We lost probably 1,500 trees over that time period, 400 or 500 trees every time there's one of those huge storms. But every tree that we have is categorized, it's logged in, and we worked with Cornell University a few years back. And anybody who's interested in horticulture or botany, if you're looking to go forward with that, I think there's an interesting study that better down. Gravity is better than So we have a study that I'd be glad to make available if anybody ever contacted me, and it has to do with the value of those trees. As beautification was saying, each tree has a little bit different, whether it's shade or whether it's root stabilization for soil or carbon dioxide removal, the various benefits from each tree. These were all identified with respect to the size of the tree, the type of tree that we have, and the bottom line figure is it's worth about $2 million a year to the residents and the people that work in White Plains. So that's what our 13,000 trees are worth, about $2 million a year. It was a whole big Cornell University study, and very, very interesting. So the contribution of 3 more trees to the city's inventory is always welcome. We hope that you get a feel for that value of the trees when we talk about them. And the other thing is Tree City USA. The city has been very proud for 30 consecutive years to be named as a Tree City USA in New York State. And there are only about another 10 or 12 that have had municipalities in the state that have had that designation for that length of time, or maybe even a year or two longer than us. But it really is something that we're pretty proud of. And there's a flag, if I could get Dennis. Dennis and Rick Hope from Public Works. Rick is Deputy Commissioner, and Dennis is Superintendent of General Operations. So that Tree City USA flag, this is a special one. It's got 30-year banner on it, and we'd like to donate that to the high school. And
How about another hand for the White Plains? So talk about tough acts to follow. It's my pleasure on behalf of the students, staff, and faculty of White Plains High School to welcome you to our lovely campus and to thank the White Plains Beautification Foundation and its director, Kathy Masterson, for the extraordinary commitment you have made to the City of White Plains, the White Plains City School District, and most importantly, our students. I would like to thank Barbara Vroman for her generosity. Of all the gifts we could receive, a tree must surely rank among the most precious. We hope our students' dreams grow and flourish along with these trees, and that they nurture, protect, and treasure this city, this school, and these trees long into their